85% of retail revenue comes from retail brick and mortar stores, but the retail landlords of today are ill-equipped to deal with this. Alex is a landlord for 4 profitable retail properties, and everything's going great. But one key tenant hasn't been paying rent recently. A few months passed, and nothing's changed. Alex is now in charge of a very difficult decision. He can negotiate concessions for his tenant, which brings profitability to red. It reduces the value of his property, and all in the hopes of eventually the tenant being profitable again. Or he can let the tenant go, get 0 income, and he can let the tenant go, get 0 income, and risk losing vacancies for a very long time. Without insight into the future operating profile of his tenants, Alex decides to let his tenant go. And as a result, he's now scrambling to find a tenant before he risks default to the bank. This same story is happening across the country. As you all know, retail businesses are having a very challenging time. Retail businesses with seasonal and cyclical revenue are broken with fixed monthly leases. However, demand for retail remains strong. Retail landlords are just flying blind in this new volatility environment.
CapFlex enables landlords to take proactive steps to improve the financial health of their properties. Unlocking solutions in this space requires trust between landlords and tenants. We build that trust through transparency. Tenants share financial data, such as real-time banking information through CapFlex, enabling landlords to extend flexibility through volatile times and ensure they have maximal capacity across all their buildings. Our percentage lease, which splits rents between a fixed amount and a revenue-based amount, cuts through the opacity and the red tape currently existing in the retail landscape today. Additionally, we offer easily accessible capital to landlords and tenants because we're effectively underwriting those businesses with our risk model. Let's return to Alex and see what his situation would have looked like under CapFlex. With tenant financial data streaming through our proprietary risk model, Alex is able to see that his tenant is having a tough quarter and struggling. So he starts to explore solutions. He decides to extend a percentage lease to that tenant, ensuring that he still has incoming cash flow without taking on excessive risk. And while that flexible rent schedule works for that tenant, we have a number of other solutions that allow solutions to be tailored to each tenant's situation. For example, that tenant could have drawn on a line of credit that is enabled through our product to kind of avoid dealing with Alex altogether. Or Alex could have used the market data available in our product to analyze the types of tenants he should be enticing into his properties to improve quality across his portfolio. CapFlex has a product with multiple features that drive our data flywheel to differentiate us and drive our advantage. The tenant financial data flows to the property owner, and that allows them to manage and monitor their property risk, enabling them to be more flexible with tenants. That in turn benefits tenants. They don't have credit hits, and now they can access capital with much more attractive financing rates, which then incentivizes them to provide more data to our product.
Our go-to-market focuses on landlords that own and operate less than 10 commercial buildings in regional cities across the US. We spoke with over 150 industry participants, standing landlords, tenants, brokers, regional banks, and we all converged on this pain point that we are solving at CapFlex as the core issue that would unlock a ton of value for the entire industry. In just this weekend, we secured our first verbal commitment for a pilot customer at our ACV that we'll share here shortly. Unlike other vendors, CapFlex leverages real-time granular data to power the property risk monitoring tool that we've developed. Once we identify a risk for a property, we're then able to leverage our accessible capital and predictive tenant retention solutions in order to proactively solve for the problem. We are bringing solutions to the problem, not just analytics. We are pioneering a new category of real estate monitoring through the financial data that acts a lot like monitoring your heart. We are the EKG of CRE. By just reducing churn by 1%, we're able to add an additional 150,000 of revenue per property. With 430,000 properties, retail properties across the United States, times our ACV of 15,000, that's an initial $7 billion market opportunity. And that's capturing 10% of the new revenue that we'll be generating. This is focused specifically on retail real estate. But as we expand into industrial and other areas of commercial real estate, that TAM expands even to the 35+ billion. I learned of this problem directly in my last company where I was working with companies that work with companies that required to lease industrial real estate and saw firsthand the difficulty they had managing the lease terms with their landlords. We have assembled a team with Tristan and Spencer of world-class talent in financial markets, real estate, and AI to bring this solution to market.
As CapFlex deploys across the country, our models of underwriting will get better and better. And as we prove out our underwriting models, we'll be able to create a new market connecting investors, retail businesses, and landlords. Eventually, we'll be able to extend credit off our own balance sheets, increasing profitability. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be in the back there if you guys want to chat after by the elevators. Thanks for your time.